Hello explorers and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about Ceph and the disk prediction for local disk prediction. And this one has been not working for a while. It has been broken and it has been turned off for everything that runs a Python version that is newer than Python 3.7. And in the case of 3.8, they had a problem. So they turned it off for everything that is above 3.7. And that is fine in Ubuntu, I believe, and some other distros because they are using 3.7. Debian, on the other hand, has gone over to 3.9, which means that this is turned off in all newer Debian releases and will not work. So I wanted to find a solution to actually get it up and running because it's no problem to actually run it in 3.9. It's just 3.8 that has a problem. So let's switch over to my screen here and look at my new Ceph cluster. I've upgraded to Quincy now, so I get this new stylish front end. I'm not really keen on this. It's not my favorite, but at least you get some over time statistics of how the latency and client throughput and so on has been. So the cluster utilization is much more front and center, and everything that is going on in the cluster, it's doing scrubbing and so on. It's taking a backseat role here. So yeah, maybe it's better for some people. I'm not really that invested in it. So let's look at our OSD here, and what we can see now is that it's good health state and the life expectancy is more than 6 weeks. So it seems to work, but if I switch over to my console here where I searched in the log, we can see that the disk prediction has not been running for a couple of the devices because the records are less than 6 days old. So perhaps I'm not getting the correct statistics here. I'm gonna wait 6 days and see if these kind of errors just disappear. So maybe it will be fixed later on, or perhaps there is something totally broken with this. So maybe this is not a good suggestion either way, but what I did was that I first off had to enable the plugin, and because it's disabled all over and it's disabled by a flag, I could find this flag in the configuration here. So if we go into configuration and then do disk prediction local, you can see here that disabled manager modules is disk prediction local. That is the default value for this one. And you can't go in here and change it because it's set on startup. So what I did was that I went into my configuration file here. So if you go into Ceph conf, I added this manager 3 disable modules and no modules. So I changed the disabled modules to nothing on the specific host, and I did it on the other manager hosts as well, but the node number 3 is the one that is currently running, so here I have put my full focus. But when I did that, restarted the manager and tried to get it up and running, I got an error, a pretty bad error. So this was the error after I had run this manager module enable disk prediction force. So I enabled it by force because it says that not all of your managers are actually supporting disk prediction local. They do because I have turned off this feature everywhere, but yeah. So when I forced it on, I got this log message, and it says that SVC object has no attribute break ties. So there is a problem with the current version of scikit learn, or sklearn, which is the Debian package. So I could not run this. What I then did was that I rebuilt the old packages for Buster. So I went back a version in my tree and found the Buster versions. So the Python 3 sklearn 0.20.2. That seems to work. What is installed in the Debian system at the moment is 0.23.4, I believe, and that did not work. So I had to download the scikit-learn and then rebuild it from scratch. I have a video about how to build Debian packages. I also tried to download the version that is in Bookworm, which is the next version, which is sklearn 1.2.1, and built that from a Debian package, but it did not solve my problem. It did not. First off, it was hard to actually build. It was easier to build an older version than a new version. The dependencies were not there and so on. But even when I got it to build, it did not solve my problem. So there is something wrong in the Diskprediction code, I guess. So it's using functionality that is not there in newer version of sklearn. So the right way to solve this is, of course, to create a patch for Ceph, send it in where they can actually solve this sklearn problem that they have and run it in a correct way. I'm not sure if anyone actually is interested in this problem at all. I'm really invested in it because I think it's a great functionality to have some kind of prediction on where your hardware is getting bad, so you are in the process of changing them. I've also been thinking about NVMe drives. They actually report how much use they have done. So if you have an NVMe drive, it will give you a percentage of how much of it has been written already. And maybe you can make a prediction there on how long it will take until that drive will be no longer usable because it have written, like say, 50% already. Well, then it only has half its lifetime left. And if you have the old value on how long it actually have been in use, you could figure out when it will break. So I think this is an interesting module to have running, and I really like that I got it running. I'm not sure if it's working or if I need to rebuild the module altogether in order to get it to run with a normal installation of Debian. But I will look into that and continue this work. I just wanted to show you where I'm at the moment, and if you have the same problem, you could try the same solution. It's maybe not for the faint of heart. It's people that are not really into doing modifications to the Linux system. This is a test cluster I have at home. Okay, I store real data on it because I have all the videos that I produce for this channel on it. But still, it's something that I use in order to learn. It's not something that makes me money or anything like that. I hope that you liked this video. I hope that you learned something today. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. And I really hope to see you in the next video.